My name is Laura Hockstead, 26 years old.
First comic I ever read was a Batman comic that was a reprint, I do believe, in the 60s or 70s with, when they did like a tape cassette that went along with the comics. It was a trilogy. It was the background of Batman, Alfred, and Joker, and also Robin. And that's what really got me into comics right there.
Yeah, sure. It was actually my father used to take me to Mike's Mart, you know, if he was picking up milk after school or something like that, and he'd always let me pick a comic book that was available there. And at the time, Mike's Mart may have had a Spider-Man, a Batgirl, you know, a Superman, whatever it was, and I was drawn to them, so I would just pick one and bring it home and read it, and I was fascinated.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been really keen on Marvel just because they tend to go very kind of otherworld like, you know. I mean, as much as they want to say like they're based in real towns like New York and it just never seemed to me like the real world compared to Batman and other things. I mean, not to say that any comic book really captures the real world 100%, but I mean, it just seemed to me like when they made Batman, it was very much during that time when the subtlest thing, like a scar on your face, could have made you the biggest bad guy in the world, right? As opposed to now that you have to have superpowers, you gotta have invincible gloves, you gotta have X-ray vision, you gotta fly really high, you gotta spin webs. I don't know.
Well, I would say at the time, when I was just grabbing comic books, whatever was there, I was just hungry for anything that was available. It seemed it was more on the DC side, but I found as I got older and when I started to actually collect them and find a wider range of interests, I was drawn more to the Marvel side.
Absolutely. He's always been my favorite. It's just based on the fact that he has super intellect. I mean, a lot of people want to say that he doesn't have a superpower, but I mean, if you really think about it, he has super intellect because he always has a backup plan for every single thing known to man. He even has a backup plan to take out himself. So, I mean, right there, you have literally the perfect warrior.
Okay. Well, when I was first getting into it, I found I really liked Rogue. Her character, you know, from a female perspective, I found she was a really strong character, and her mutant abilities caused a lot of conflicts in her relationships and her way that she connected with people. And I thought maybe, you know, as an angsty teenage girl, I was like, oh, I relate to that. So she was one of the ones that I was really drawn to.
Or hell no. Hell no. It should have been 100% based on the comics, because now they're getting into so many different tangents of Batman that they don't know where to go. They don't know where to go anymore. Really, they tried a realistic look to Batman with Christopher Nolan's version, and it really didn't work. Well, compared to like Joel Schumacher's and Tim Burton's, right? It had very much a more realistic approach to Batman, which wasn't entirely the problem. It was just they lacked key elements to the story that made Batman who Batman was.
I think it depends what you read. A lot can be said for, you know, comic books we were talking about earlier in the 50s, you know, and their representation of women, and I think that was a cultural thing at the time, but I think it's made leaps and bounds, you know, pun kind of intended. Granted, their outfits may still be revealing, but I find that if the character behind those outfits is strong and, you know, showing her ability within the team, it can be very empowering for women to see these characters being so strong.
And anybody says Batman and Robin is gay, can kiss my ass.